Mario, hey, Mario. Ooh. How's it going, guys? Welcome back. It's been a little while since we've done a podcast, so I'm excited to sit down with you guys.
Thanks for joining us.
Get a stogie, get a drink, and
welcome to the Unfazed Review Podcast.
Good to be back. So I wanted to open this one up with something, something kind of. I don't know. I want to say it's sort of like an olive branch because although it does include Elon Musk being, illustrated as a good guy, which I think he ultimately is. Obviously, I know he's a businessman. He's.
I like Elon.
Yeah, I like him.
Him.
For the most part, I think he's trying to do his best.
Yeah.
But I'll say I tell you guys all the time that I try to listen to NPR, and most of the time, it'll even be like a few, like not even a full sentence, just like a phrase or something. I'll turn it on. They just happen to be like, racial inequality. And I'm like, all right,
yeah. And it's never like mild. It's like they're like ranting, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But they somehow slip it into like every single, every 10 minutes.
Yeah, really. And then lately, a lot of it's been, well, I guess it's just not NPR itself, but it's just been our station. Like half of their airtime is asking for donations now, and they're always like, "You're one source for news." It's like, no, I can't imagine this is anyone's one source for news.
Especially now, it's like, what year is this?
If you're like 80, maybe.
But 1940, there's only like three outlets for news in the entire country. Like, I don't think so, man.
So anyway, this was a story that I heard on NPR, and it was cool. So I just wanted to talk about it. Elon Musk is always doing stuff. I don't know how much he specifically actually had to do with this mission, but I assume a large portion. So this is called Inspiration 4. It's a SpaceX planned Crew Dragon. I don't know what that means. Crew Dragon mission to low Earth orbit operated by SpaceX on behalf of Jared Isaacman. I don't know who that is.
I've heard about this. This is where they feed 8 of the members to a dragon.
That's right.
Yeah.
The flight will launch on October 2021 with 4 crew members aboard the Crew Dragon Resilience. Okay, cool. So that's the name of the shuttle.
Cool.
Inspiration 4 will be the first crew space mission to fly with only private citizens aboard. So that's the cool thing. They're like, and so this was they're all like, it's regular people, and they were interviewing this nurse who's going to be on this, and she is, I don't know if she was born without a leg or something, but she's like an amputee, and beforehand they didn't like allow that astronauts had to be very physically fit, right?
Okay,
you couldn't have any issues like that, but I don't know what they did. They're making it so the parameters are a little more lax, and you can afford to go on it even if you're not in 100% tip-top physical shape or whatever. So
and it also makes for a slightly lighter flight.
Yeah. So I'm really excited for that.
Poor thing. But hey, good for him.
It's
doing amazing
things.
It's
really neat. It's really neat.
That's incredible. Wow, good for them. I just hope it's not like what was the one that blew up in the 80s?
Oh yeah.
Not the Triumph. What was it called?
I forget what it was called.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and that was like a bunch of
Challenger.
teachers and stuff too.
Challenger.
And that was a similar thing because it was like.
I remember one of my teachers in elementary school. She'd been a teacher for a long time, obviously, and she was like, "Oh yeah," she's like, "Back when that happened, she's like, we had it broadcast in all the classrooms."
Yeah.
And she had to explain to a group of like 9-year-olds, like, "Oh yeah, they're not coming back."
Yeah.
Like, it was like she said it was like horrific, like people in the class crying.
Oh god, that's so sad.
Yeah. So let's hope this one goes well. Let's hope this one's safe.
This is interesting. Yeah, one of the 4 individuals on Inspiration 4.
Oh, it's only 4. Wow.
Yeah, so that's why it's called Inspiration 4. I think
Makes
it's like
sense.
they're the inspirations because it's these regular people.
I love the picture of the Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah. That's really
genius. It's genius.
I hope it doesn't go like, it might be kind of cool if they turn into superheroes, but I don't want anything to go awry.
Yeah.
But I said one of these people was literally chosen by raffle. Ooh. So it's like literally just these random lay people, which is really cool.
Wow.
I think it's awesome. I don't know if I told you, but I might have told you. When they were doing that, it ended up being kind of all a sham, I think.
The Mars one?
Yeah, in like 2013, they were doing the Mars thing, and I submitted to that.
Whoa.
I really wanted to do it.
Would you have gone through with it?
At the time, I think I would have. Now, fuck no.
Couldn't pay me.
But I made a whole video talking about what I did and why I wanted to do it.
What were your thoughts at the time? Was it just all were you just super into Alien?
I'm always into Alien.
Yeah.
I just
it would be amazing.
I was more just like I think I was younger, so I was more sort of high-minded, and I wanted to do like the coolest possible thing I could do, and space had just always really excited me, and the idea of the final frontier and everything was so cool.
It'd be a crazy story. imagine if they do this and they pick like 4, right? And it's like a larger ship.
Yeah.
Imagine as a story if one of the dudes is like a crazy killer.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the guy that gets
And, like,
chosen
you're
by the
like,
raffle.
you're like
is
locked in space with him, and he's just like, finally.
I'm sure they do really good background checks. I fucking hope so.
I certainly hope so.
But yeah, that's going to be really cool because NASA launched that rover to Mars recently, and that was a big thing.
That was very cool.
I hope this gets as much airtime as that because this is really, really neat.
Yeah, SpaceX is like, I feel like they're actually way more active than NASA currently.
Yeah, they're constantly doing like shuttle launches.
Oh
and
my god,
tests
it's
and
like all the
stuff.
time. Like if you ask anyone, even if nothing's happened this week, like, oh, did you see the SpaceX launch?
Right, yeah.
People will be like, oh, I missed that one.
Right,
Because like
yeah,
there's
yeah.
so many,
Yeah,
there's so many going on all the time.
Have you seen those videos? I mean, it still like blows my mind. I feel like this kind of went under the radar, but I mean, it's crazy to have these shuttles that, I mean, before like they on I guess ascent when they leave the atmosphere, like half of the thing just like blows up and dies because it's only used for ascent. But now they can like go up and come back down.
Crazy.
It's so
yeah.
cool.
When I saw those first ones from Elon, like coming way back down, well, not just Elon, but his whole team from SpaceX.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like they're just rewinding it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's so
but they're
cool.
not. It's real.
It is really, really cool.
It's very cool. Yeah.
So more power to them. I hope this.
Yeah, SpaceX is where it's at, dude. I just hope they don't have any major tragedies or setbacks, and I hope the raffle doesn't find a killer. You know?
Yeah.
But I think it'll be successful, and I think people will still be talking about NASA in 50 years, but I think SpaceX will really go into the forefront in the next couple decades. You know?
Yeah, I really hope so. And what was interesting is when I was taking astronomy, I noticed that the professor, for what it's worth, was highly aligned with NASA.
Okay.
He seemed to have like a buddy in there or something who was always talking about him. So I asked him after class one day, what do you think about SpaceX and Elon Musk? Because I feel like they almost don't like him.
Hate him.
Yeah, right. And I think, I looking back, I still can't tell if he was just giving me a nice answer, but he was like, you know, I think what he's doing is great, and I wish him the best. But you know, I feel like they're a little jealous. I don't know, because they've never had like competition before.
That's
and he's
true.
like Elon Musk just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Just this one guy.
And also, they're going like as hard as NASA, if not harder.
Yeah, right.
Right out of the gate. And SpaceX just has a whole lot more technology, I think. I mean, NASA has the technology as well, but they didn't have as much initially like SpaceX does.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the thing is, like, NASA is funded by the government, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so they got a lot of. They're very kind of strictly regimented, I guess.
Yeah.
And whereas, you know, SpaceX is funded by Elon Musk, who's got like a shitload.
Yeah.
So
government's got that sweet Tang money. Mm-hmm. and chimpanzee sacrifice
Chimpanzee sacrifice.
money.
Yeah.
Welcome to the chimpanzee sacrifice podcast.
So I mean, yeah, everyone talks about how he, like, you know, made all his money from slaves in the mines or whatever, and my thing is, like, you know, if you bought a shirt that was made in China, you're helping to you know, prolong slavery. So
iPhones and Nikes.
Yeah, we're all in this together, and I know it's like people think that, you know, as soon as you have like $1 million, you can just save the world, but I don't think it works like that. I'm going to say.
I think it would take more protests against. Actually, if you really wanted to make a change, you'd have to get a bunch of people boycotting certain brands that utilize unfair labor.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I don't know, create some more regulations or something.
Yeah. So people like tweeting about how evil Elon Musk is on their iPhones that were made by the Chinese, like, fuck off, you know?
Yeah.
You're not really helping. And I do think he's, I mean, interplanetary travel is like where we have to go. It's
the only
just,
way to
you know,
go.
yeah. So he's literally doing the thing that is like beyond politics or anything. He's just doing the inevitable thing that we're going to have to do.
Yeah.
Which is, it's comforting, actually, in a way.
Yeah.
You know?
Someone's gotta make the jump.
It's nice to know that he's pushing for that.
I hope he lives a really long life, because it always seems like these trailblazers like Steve Jobs and people come in and they die like a little younger than they should.
Yeah, yeah.
I hope Elon has a really good long run.
Yeah,
I hope he
me
lives
too,
to be like 100. Yeah.
Okay. So Sophie. All right, I have to get into this. There was this artist, this musician. There's a popular thing now. I talked about this last time, where people on Twitter will compare some like shitty modern musician to the Beatles. I think just for effect, really.
Yeah, we had a rant
talked
about it.
Yeah,
We had a
like
good rant.
when they compared her to Nicki Minaj.
Yeah. Or Cardi B. I think it was Cardi B.
Yeah.
Same deal.
So they compared the Beatles to Sophie and said Sophie was much better. And
But it's funny, at the end of the day, who do they keep comparing all these artists to? The Beatles.
Because they know they're the best.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and they're just trying to get a reaction from people like me, and I bite.
Yeah. They're going to be doing the same thing in 30 years.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd never heard of this Sophie. I didn't know anything about her. And they were all saying Pony Boy was like one of her best tunes. So right now, I'm just going to play you like 30 seconds of Pony Boy.
Will we get flagged?
I'll cut it.
Okay.
And then you guys can listen to it on your own. As much as I hate to give her views, actually I think she's dead, so I don't think it matters.
She died?
Yeah.
Like, actually died?
Yeah, I think she's actually dead, yeah.
Oh.
But,
I'm sorry.
yeah, well. So I'll put it in the chat. You guys can listen to it on your own, and Ben and I will take a listen right now.
Stay gold.
Exactly.
Or is it stay golden?
Stay gold, Pony Boy. I think it's stay gold, yeah. Stay gold, Pony Boy.
Go to... Oh, the fuck is this shit? What is it, a blind seal? Wow.
Anyway, the whole song is like this.
Fucking
It
horrendous.
skipped like midway through. Oh, we got a couple notes in there.
Arctic Zone and Sonic. All right.
Okay, anyway, I can't. It's
Dear
putrid, worthless shit.
That's awful, yeah. Sonic's soundtrack is way better than that.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
And so they're all saying she's amazing. And
Ugh.
this was like very, I guess, like Gen Z, very left Twitter.
Yeah.
Which most of Twitter is.
Everyone's right. Preach, sister.
Yeah. Like they all had a... I don't know, there's just a certain kind of profile that you see on Twitter and you just like immediately know how they align politically. And
That's a shame.
yeah, so I was like, my mind was blown. I was like, how? Why? Like, I know people have like shit taste in music these days, but that's goes above and beyond.
It's almost like they're trolling.
Yeah, it really was. And I thought they were until I looked up this musician. I was like, why? How is she popular? She's
hot?
obviously dog shit. No, she's trans.
Oh.
And literally, when I saw that I like read their trans musician, I went okay out loud and nodded my head because it all clicked. They're literally just championing her because she was trans.
Zerg.
Yeah.
Codename Zerg.
Yeah. It was so crystal clear. Like, I'm sorry, guys. I mean, you can do whatever you want with your body, with your persona, but the second you judge the quality of music based on who the person was, it's like it's so backwards, it's so fucked up, and it made me think like, kids in like the 50s and the 60s had to like sneak jazz LPs in, and they bought them with their own allowance. They weren't doing that because they wanted to support black people. They were doing that because they liked the music.
Yeah,
they're like, this is good. I don't care who made it. I want to listen to it, even if my parents don't want me to because they were black. And I'm going to listen to it because it's good.
And the reverse was true. When Buddy Holly and the Crickets started, a bunch of people at radio stations and at venues assumed they were a black group.
Right.
So when they played the Apollo, everyone was like, obviously a mixed group, but obviously at the Apollo, a lot of black fans went to see him. And they were shocked that it was a white band. They were like shocked that it was a white band.
Yeah, there you go.
So it's like the same thing. That's it's like the music, it's like, it doesn't matter what they look like. Yeah. People liked it for the quality of it.
But that was fucking horse shit.
Go figure.
And like, it makes me, as a musician, it makes me so angry that people give a shit about that.
It's horse shit.
And clearly she blows. Like, no one would give a shit.
They're putting identity politics over
art.
Over art,
yeah.
Because they want to appear socially woke.
Yeah.
And they want accolades from everyone around them. And it's like, really, at the end of the day, really? I mean, come on, really?
Really sad.
I think we know.
Yeah. I can't. It blows my mind how hollow these people's lives must be. Yeah. If they can't, they're clearly not genuinely enjoying music.
Anything.
Anything at all. If this is their mindset, like they align with what I either like or what I identify with, so I like and support them. They don't actually vibe at all with anything.
It's akin to what the Academy Awards have become. It's akin to like
what the Grammys have become too.
Any of those. It's like it's not about the quality of the film really. Once in a blue moon it is. Once in a blue moon, a really good film will get praise, obviously. But it seems almost like it's more like affirmative action award show and everyone trying to be socially woke and trying to be I don't know, man, given awards based on gender or based on race or based on sexual identification or whatever, and it's like it just doesn't, or sexual orientation, sorry. Right. But like it's just, at the end of the day it should be about how good the movie is or how good the song is. And because it really takes away from those artists because it almost shows like, no, you're not good. We just like you because we need to meet a quota.
Yeah.
And it takes away from anything anyone makes, no matter what you look like or no matter what you identify as.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's almost just like, give them a trophy because we have to.
Oh, I know.
And it's just kind of like, is that really what is best for society?
Yeah, I know, dude. It's so sad. It's
like,
so sad. So it just like, I don't know, man.
It's fucking stupid.
It's so backwards.
It's fucking stupid, I think.
Speaking of, I've been making a lot of tunes lately, so I'll link them down below so you guys can listen to. Thank you.
Good shit, by the way, man. Yeah. You've been very prolific lately.
Yeah.
You're always prolific, but I feel like musically you've been really on a roll lately.
Thank you. Yeah, I have been. And part of it's because I have to do like a...
excuse me.
Essentially my senior thesis for students in music is like a recital, and so I have to do a recital of my music since I'm a composition major. So I have to record like every weekend to get enough shit together for the recital. So I'm kind of forced to.
You gonna put an album out this summer?
I really hope so.
You should.
I've been sitting on like more than enough for an album, but it's
yeah.
just the time and the money of putting it out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will.
You should do the Dave Grohl approach. I was watching one where he did the first Foo Fighters album on his own. That was not a band; it was just Dave Grohl.
It's badass.
But he was nervous to put it out as Dave Grohl, so he's like, I'm going to create the name Foo Fighters.
That's cool.
And that way, then when they started touring, obviously he had to get a band together, and it evolved organically. But they knocked that first album out in like something like 6 or 7 days.
That's cool. It's kind of inspirational. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm just like pretending you're a band.
Yeah.
And then
yeah, there was only one person who helped with a guitar track on one song.
Yeah.
And it was someone I think from the Melvins, or I could be wrong on that one. But literally like 99.9% of it was Dave Grohl.
Right, yeah, that's fun.
Every instrument. And it was something like, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, but it was like he knocked it out in like a week.
That's cool, yeah.
And it's just like, that's fucking amazing. The album still holds up.
Yeah, it's sick, yeah.
So it's like, there's something to be said about putting all your energy into something in a really highly concentrated dose.
Yeah, true,
You know?
yeah. And I always do it like that. I put out this song called Blinds, which isn't for my recital, but I just a tune that I thought would be good. And it was piano. It was like a MIDI piano. It was like keyboard, but it sounds really good if you have the right plug-in. And then I have a pretty good mic that we do the Let's Plays with, and that's what I used to sing. And then my buddy Brandon was the only actual other musician on it who played guitar, because it's hard to fake guitar.
Brandon's really good.
And he's a really good guitarist, yeah.
He's really good,
And so it's like anything that I just like give him the chords, and he just like turns it into fucking gold.
He's a virtuoso.
Yeah, he really is. He's the nicest guy. So it's
I've
like
seen him play a couple times. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. It's so nice to work with them. And we actually, I don't think I've ever done this before, but literally on last Sunday, he came over and we co-wrote. It's not a full song yet, but we co-wrote like a chart, like chord changes, and it's really good. And I'm really excited about it. And
That's
we're,
awesome.
we're gonna try and like
turn it into something.
Yeah, do more stuff together.
That'd be cool.
But that song Blinds, like I did in like 2 days.
Nice.
And it was
from conception.
Yeah, from conception. And it's always like that. It's always like
It's great.
I'll feel like I don't output anything, and then all of a sudden it'll just all come out at once, and then
that means it's real.
I guess so. Yeah. And then the drums were also just the GarageBand drums, but I didn't like just take a pre-recorded track. They have it where you can have like the kick is like a low C, and then the ride is like. So I was like playing the drums
specific.
on it, but it sounds really good. And
Okay.
like Max. When I showed it to Max, he was like, "Did you get Christian? Like my buddy who plays drums. Did you get Christian to play drums?" I was like, "No,
Max.
yeah, it fooled Max." So
And
I
Max,
think when it fools
he's
Max,
got the ear for it.
Yeah, it's like it sounds good. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's really good, man.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, but you have a link for that one?
Yeah, I'll post it. Yeah.
All right, links down below, guys. Check out Emmett's great music.
Thank you.
Some good shit, baby.
This we can talk about. We don't have to. We for a while have been talking about doing a book review series,
Yes.
and
We're gonna we were gonna call it. We are gonna call it Rarely Reading with Ben and Emmett.
perfect.
Rarely reading, because obviously you probably read a lot more than I do, but I don't know, man. I'm so ADD. It's like it has to be amazing, and even then, rarely will I finish a book. Rarely will I finish a book.
Yeah.
The only books I ever finish are like Bret Easton Ellis books, or occasionally a good biography.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much all I read.
Yeah, I don't read much fiction, which is odd.
Yeah, you think I would, but the older I've gotten, the more I almost feel like it's like pointless, and it sounds weird to say, it sounds like shitty to say, but like I feel like I'm going to learn more from someone's like life story than I am from like,
Yeah, no, the thing I've been
Peter and the
reading,
Starcatcher.
Yeah. I told you one of my favorite guys was Malcolm Gladwell, who did like they were like essays, essentially, like book-sized essays, like sociological essays, but they're really interesting. And the thing I'm reading now is one that I've been reading for like fucking since November that my dad got me. It's called what the fuck? I can't remember what it's called. The Man's Search for Meaning.
Oh, dude, you read me some of that shit?
Yeah, I read that too.
Holy crap. Dude, that was some heavy stuff.
Yeah, I've been slowly getting through that.
Wow. That seems like a tearjerker.
Yeah, I've cried like multiple times reading that thing.
That was just the chapter that you showed me. I was like, holy shit!
It's this dude's personal account of being a Jew at Auschwitz, and but it's not just like it's not like Night by Elie Wiesel or any of those things you read in high school or whatever. He was a psychologist before World War II, and so it's like a psychologist's perspective, and which is really interesting. And yeah, there's moments in the book. It's one of the only books I can remember in recent memory where usually when I read, I sit down and be like, all right, I have to read 10 pages because otherwise I'm not going to do it.
Same.
Right? Yeah.
Same.
And this is the only book where like I get to the 10th page and I'm like,
wow,
keep going, you know? Yeah. So it's like actually, I can't remember the last time I felt that kind of drive with the book.
That's how Less Than Zero was for me.
Yeah.
And another really good one, if you like that kind of stuff, one of the few books that I finished, Unbroken.
Is that about the PO?
Yeah, he was an Olympic athlete, Louis Zamperini, and he goes into the war and his plane gets shot down, and he's adrift at sea for like over a month with these other guys, fighting off sharks, trying to stay alive, like eating seagulls and fish.
That's sick.
Like they're almost dead, like terrible. And then finally they get lucky and they wash up on shore. But guess what? They end up in a Japanese internment camp. After surviving 30 plus days at sea, and that's just like the first freaking like
Jesus
50 pages
Christ.
of the book. Like that book is the same lady, Laura Hillenbrand, who wrote Seabiscuit. So like she's like super accurate on details, and she like sat down with him and like spoke and like historians and everything, and like freaking fantastic stuff.
Yeah,
but
that's cool.
really interesting if you like The Man's Search for Meaning.
Yeah.
And like I said, rarely reading.
Check it out.
Maybe.
I wanted to talk about this as a way to like make us do it.
That's what I was just going to say. I was going to say maybe we need to do this because I really should read more.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be an interesting segment because we're not book guys.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like we're writers, not readers.
Yeah.
So it's like I've written more words I think than I've read.
Yeah. And people always say like you need to read a shitload in order to be a good writer. But the more I live, the more I found that's not true.
Yeah. You need to live to be a good writer.
Yeah.
And have an imagination.
Yeah. And it's not true with music. I mean, you can like listen and study a lot of classical works, and like I don't want to talk about anyone specifically, but there's someone I know who has such a good knowledge of like music history and can dissect music really, really well, but his music is just not that good and no one really listens to it. So it's like
almost like different parts of the brain.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's like I'm not a good musician by any means. It's and I haven't practiced in a long time either, but it's like I don't consider myself a musician, but I know a fuck ton about music.
Yeah, right.
So it's like, and I can pick out what's good.
I've told you guys, not even a second into a song, you know what the fucking song's
I'm
called.
hearing Shazam.
Yeah,
yeah. But it's like I sit down at the piano, I'll be like, chopsticks. You know?
Well,
But it's like,
it's interesting.
So here's what we could do. If this is something you guys would like to watch, well, we're going to do it anyway. But I think we should make a goal to have the first episode of Rarely Reading out sometime in early April.
Love that. Easy peasy. Yeah.
Let's say like within the first 2 weeks of April.
And it's just I think it's tough specifically now to read or to dedicate yourself to anything. I read a lot over the summer actually.
Yeah.
I reread a couple Star Wars novels.
Nice.
And then I reread a lot of Elmore Leonard, who wrote a bunch of classic westerns that were really good, like Valdez is Coming and stuff like that.
I do like a good western.
Yeah, those are really good. But things are so tumultuous and weird right now that it's hard to like sit down and just focus.
Even when it's calm, it's hard to focus.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
at least for me.
Yeah, but you need to be in the right zone. And right now, like my graduation's coming up, and I got all these classes and shit, and things are just weird in general for everyone. So it's hard to sit down. But really nice. Our patron Warhammer gifted me a book that is, I guess, a classic sci-fi novel, and that's going to be next on my list. So Warhammer. As soon as I'm done with,
I'd like to take a moment to shout out our patron, artwork of Warhammer. Yes. Amazing. We love you. Thank you so much for your support.
Good man.
If anyone else would like to help keep the channel going and help us make more content more often, please consider joining the Patreon. We'd really appreciate it because we still got to work and we still got to balance the channel,
and we do,
which we love to do. But it's with patrons, it makes things a little bit easier and fuels the vehicles and fuels the technology.
And we do once in a blue moon post exclusive content on there, and we could do that more often.
The more patrons we get, the more exclusive content will be on there. Yeah.
And if you guys have any suggestions for books that you think we should read, let us know.
Yeah. Comment below.
What's so funny is that on this laptop that I have right here, so much stuff is like public domain now.
Yeah.
I just have I have a folder that's like probably 200 like classic novels that I read a handful of them in like 2017, and they were good. Like, it's so easy to get your hands on great stuff for free these days.
It's amazing.
So,
that is one of the best things of the internet, dude.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
I also wanted to give a little shout out to our Discord Unfazed crew.
Yeah. The
Madam-
Discord is fun.
Rake, Madam Caboose, EP. Let's see, Appalachian Exploration. We love you.
Actually, I think I told you this the other day.
Who?
One of my online piano students, Eric, is in the Discord. I think it's you because you have the same full name, and it can't be a coincidence. So
That's awesome.
I think it's hilarious that you joined the Discord. Thank you, man.
That's great.
I appreciate it.
Mr. Ducky, a.k.a. Brian Desarn.
Oh, is he in there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that was
Yeah,
him.
Brian.
That's funny.
Let me see, who am I leaving out?
Yeah, I'd like to see more activity in there. I
Yeah.
love our community. It's a
Yeah,
great
anyone
community.
who likes our stuff, if you want to talk to us directly and join the Unfazed crew, also there's a link to join the Discord down below in the description. So,
And we're on there fairly regularly, Ben and I. So.
I have the app on my phone. Let's see, who else are we leaving out? Rake, love you. Rake is also responsible, even though he's shy, for a lot of our great thumbnails.
Yeah, anytime you see a good thumbnail, it's Rake. And he just like, he does them so fast, it blows my mind.
Floppy cheese.
Floppy
Love floppy cheese. EP.
Good man.
I forgot if I said EP. EP is awesome.
Yeah.
Shout out to our UK homie.
We have a lot of dudes in there, and a lot of them, I think they're just kind of chill. They don't
Yeah.
say a lot, but it's been growing steadily.
Yeah,
And I'd like to see it
Rad
continue.
Wabbit.
Yeah,
That's one.
If you guys have any questions or anything, just like feel free to like at us. Don't worry. I mean, I know some people are weird.
Yeah, hit us up.
When they're like, I want to distance myself from the Discord, but
Yeah.
we're your buddies. So,
Yeah, we're accessible, and it's like we might be working or something and not respond immediately, but usually within 24 hours, it's like if you want to say what's up, say what's up. Like we're pretty accessible.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, so thank you guys for your support, and literally sometimes when we're in a slump or we're tired after work and we're gonna make something, like we're thinking about your reaction. And
Yeah.
we're thinking that like, oh, these guys are gonna like it.
Yeah.
This is for the Unfazed crew.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very true.
Yeah. So you guys keep us going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We often say like, this is for the crew. This is for these guys.
Yep.
I hope Warhammer likes this.
Yep. Yep.
So we do think about you guys like a lot.
Yeah. So you guys keep us going, and just thank you. Thanks for joining us. Yeah.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys. What do we got next?
That was it for me. I had one other thing I was going to talk about.
Pull up the email. I think I might have sent a few things.
Okay.
If you want to go right into it, we could talk about the Louder with Crowder video that we saw of this insane woke agenda that they're pushing into veterinary school.
Oh yeah.
This shit is insane, off the rails. It's like there comes to a tipping point where it's like, we've said this a million times, but it's because it's getting worse. It's like they're trying to make everything so woke and so fucking crazy and basically divide everyone with this weird ass agenda, and I don't like it, dude. It's like everything I saw in there is basically like saying that everyone's oppressed because the majority of veterinary students, according to them, are Caucasian, and they're trying to make it seem like it's some exclusive group that's racist for some reason because it's predominantly white students. And also it's like, where are the facts on that? And second, just because it's predominantly one group doing it doesn't mean that it's excluding anyone else. As far as I know, that's illegal. So it's like, just because there's more, say in a particular field, let's say there's more East Indian doctors or Asian doctors, does that mean that they're racist towards every other group?
Yeah.
No. It just means that there's predominantly more of those people in that field.
Yeah.
So it's like this woke agenda that they're trying to push is just insane, and it's very anti-white, and it's I think long term it's going to create more issues and it's going to create more resentment.
Totally.
And it's just weird. It's a weird thing to do.
One funny thing my friend said the other day about that whole mindset, and she's a woman, by the way. She was talking about how there was that big press years ago for women in STEM.
Okay.
And she was like, she put it very succinctly. She was like, if more women wanted to be in STEM, they would be in STEM.
Yeah.
That's really, that's all you can say. Like, don't try to like make them do it. Like, if they want to do it, they'll fucking do it. It's fine. And this the thing with this video, it was like was it a video you have to watch when you become a veterinarian, or?
Yeah, it's like they're training.
Yeah, they're training
in
video.
School, like getting their education.
Yeah. So the thing with this training video is, like Ben said, in the beginning they just give this statistic that it's like one of the most highly predominantly white professions, and then from there, as if it has any relation, they have all these testimonials from people who have said, like, I've heard people call me the N-word at work, and they're trying to equate those two things, which is horrific to me. It's because it's predominantly white.
It almost seems fake.
Yeah, I know.
It almost seems like it's like, hey, we need to make this look like a really oppressive field of study,
Yeah.
and that like no one has any opportunity. and like really amp it up into something that's really not there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you're talking about fucking veterinarians, dude. It's like at the end of the day, it's like, are you going to treat a white dog different than a black dog? It's like,
Yeah.
come on, guys, let's be real.
It was just, it was so chilling how they set that line of thought up without really saying anything about it. It was like this. What they're saying is, if there are majority white people in any situation, they will automatically just like start being racist with each other because they like comfortable or something.
And that's
like, what the fuck?
That's fucking weird.
It's really terrifying.
That's a weird thing to imply because what that's doing is exactly what they claim to be against. It's putting a bunch of people into a group and making a mass generalization about them.
Yeah. Exactly,
and they're being inherently racist.
I was talking about this with you when we were hanging out last weekend. How in the 90s the big thing was to not see race.
Yeah.
Like it's all about what you bring to the table.
I don't see color.
But now, I don't see color.
Yeah.
But now people are saying that's racist and you should see color.
Yeah.
And
you should treat people differently based on the way they look.
Exactly. Yeah. What does that sound like?
Yeah.
It's almost like you have to like treat them like they have a handicap, which is like, saying that it even feels wrong. That's what they're saying.
It's a huge step backwards, and if you do that too much, and you're trying to be the spokesperson for every other race, it almost seems like you're saying that they're incapable of speaking for themselves.
Yeah.
And it's like all these people, there are these social justice warrior chicks on Instagram that are coming in. They're like, oh, I got to pander to every other group. It's just kind of like, let people speak for themselves.
Yeah. So, I know, it's so funny because every time we have a podcast, we inevitably start talking about this stuff like a lot.
But it's important.
And the thing is, it's not that we want to be talking about it. It's that it keeps being in abundance, and there keeps being new, like, instances of it every time
it's being shoved in our face. I don't know how it is for you guys globally, but at least here it's being shoved in our face constantly at work, on social media, in the news. I mean, those are getting intertwined now, but it's just like it's a huge focal point. And it's just like it wasn't like that when we were kids.
No,
it was not.
This isn't like the news where they kept harping on Trump months after he was out of office. This is like it keeps getting shoved in our faces. Like we don't want to be talking about this, but the more it like comes at us, the more we gotta keep. I remember like a year ago, I said to you, I think this shit is on its way out. I couldn't have been more wrong.
Yeah,
and I'm so sad.
They've amped it up, and it's almost like they're trying to get a reaction. Anyway, I think it's just gotten to the point where we're so inundated with it. I think most rational thinking people of any ethnicity are kind of over it.
Yeah, I believe so too. I'd like to believe so too, but I'm terrified that it keeps popping up so much. It's still like the prevalent media area of thought.
And what it's doing, I think we're able to see through it, and I think a lot of people are. But I think the younger generation, I think kids in school who are super impressionable, are getting a little bit brainwashed by it, and you're creating new racist people every day who are children. When back in our day, like when we were kids, it wasn't in the front of your mind. And now it's like if they're hyper focused on race and everything, you're going to create more racists.
I know, yeah.
It's going to create division. You're going to put people into groups, and ultimately, it's just going to perpetuate the issues that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying totally ignore it, but at the same time, don't amp it up into this thing where you making it sound like we're back in Montgomery, Alabama, and
I know.
You know what I'm saying, with segregation and stuff. Yeah. It's like I don't know. It's weird. It's on a weird path.
Yeah, I know. It's so I don't know. I know it's a lot of you guys have said that it's not right to use my personal experience to judge this stuff, but I can't.
How else do you make any decision about anything in life? That's a fucking stupid answer.
I've had 3 good friends in my life who have been black. One of them was gay and black, and all of them were much more well off than me. All of them were much wealthier, and I never thought about that until now. Like they were just good friends. I didn't really care. It was cool that they were kind of wealthy because we could do fun stuff or whatever.
Yeah,
but I was always like the poor guy in that situation, and most of
Emmett, you're going to be our butler today. I love these guys.
And the vast majority of like bosses I've had, managers, people above me in whatever line of work, have been women. One of my favorite.
I was actually just talking about that. I was just talking about that. I was trying to figure out how many male bosses I've had, and I think or managers, and let's say if there's been a dozen of them, I think I've had like 3 male managers.
Yeah,
and the rest have been all women, and I don't know, man. I don't know where this imaginary oppression's coming from.
One of my favorite managers I've ever had was a lesbian Latina.
Yeah.
And like she was so cool. She was so chill. You could talk with her about whatever.
I had a really cool boss who ended up becoming trans.
Yeah, like I don't give a shit, but like
as long as you're a cool person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I just never and the more they're like, you know, white people are fucking up everything. White people are on top. The more I've thought about that, I'm like, is this true? At least from my perspective, because I know it's like there's this. It's
a dangerous message to be putting out there.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it's just imagine like 10-year-old boys who are white going to school and they're just like peaceful or whatever, and they're being told like, oh, you're the problem. You're the problem. I know. And then they turn into teenagers. You're the problem. You're the problem. And guess what? By the time they get out of high school and they become these angry young men, you're going to have a problem.
Yeah.
Because these guys are going to be filled with resentment.
Yeah.
You know?
And I know that everyone says it's institutionalized, and that is true to an extent just because of history and where we come from, and I think that'll phase out through time.
Yeah.
But when you talk about white people, like you're talking about me, like white men, you're talking about me, you're talking about Ben, so like I can't not take it personally because that's like who you're talking about. So that's like I'm kind of forced to look at my situation and decide whether or not it aligns with what is being said, and it really like doesn't at all. It couldn't be more wrong.
At the end of the day, we need to go back to going home after school, watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and then watching Full House, and then Home Improvement, and then Family Matters, and enjoying it for what it is.
Yeah.
Time for a commercial break, guys, but be nice to each other.
One kid's meal right away. Make that too? Could you please pass the chicken? Certainly.
Now at Burger King, lickety splits.
May I have the French toast? My pleasure.
You can collect all 4, a new one each week when you buy a kid's meal.
Room for a little dessert?
The Burger King Kids Club, just for fun, just for you.
You're watching Nickelodeon, and now back to Mr. Wizard's World.
Welcome back from that brief intermission. All right, so recently I was on Instagram, I was scrolling through, and I went to, the Netflix is a Joke had a post, and it was Jerry Seinfeld, the 23 Hours to Kill or whatever, his last special, and it was just a snippet from it. It was, I think, him talking about...
It looked like he won something. It was like he won Best Netflix Special.
Okay, yeah. The thing about that special, anyone who rips on it, you're crazy, first of all, because that's material he's been doing for the last like two and a half decades. Even some stuff rolled over from Seinfeld, and he'd been touring with that for a long time. And he said, "Hey, it was time to preserve this." So it was like a collection of like his like best of kind of like what he did when his first big special after Seinfeld ended, kind of like that. That one is more of a culmination of the routines from the beginning of Seinfeld. Yeah. This was basically what he'd been doing like 2000 onward. Kind of all rolled together. It was a lot of the same act that I had seen him do back when we saw him in like 2013 or something like that. I saw Jerry perform. And anyway, it had been a long time coming. But the stupid idiots on Instagram were commenting, giving Jerry Seinfeld shit. Yeah. And there was like predominantly negative comments. And a lot of them were saying, oh, he's going to roll up, comedians in cars getting coffee, picking up his underage girlfriend. And I did a little research on this, and I found that back when Jerry was like 38 or 39, he had met this girl that he was attracted to in Central Park, and at the time he didn't know it because she carried herself like more mature. She was 17 going on 18. And he clarified later on that by the time they started dating, she had turned 18, it was legal. Everyone in the cast of Seinfeld approved of her. Her parents approved. Everyone was on board. He was very open about it. He wasn't hiding the relationship. And all these people were coming at him like saying he's like some sort of pedophile or something.
Right.
And then just shitting on his act. And I'm just like, take a step back and look at yourself, guys. Like really do a little research into the actual relationship that they had for quite a few years. And also think about how influential he was just as a performer. And it's like, who the fuck are you to go criticize Jerry Seinfeld? Like,
one comment, like everyone was shitting on him in the comments. One comment that I saw recurring, the comment that recurred the most, I guess, was about how his bit about what it's like to be married was out of date. They're like, what is this marriage stuff? Is it 1965? And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Has no one been married since 1965? Like, how is that old?
And also, a lot of those are older bits.
It doesn't even make any sense.
That are basically a collection. I don't know if a lot of people know that. Yeah. But it was kind of Jerry's way of saying, like, oh, I should get all this together, his touring material, and like document it.
Yeah, but
Which
like,
he did.
still, like, this just blew my mind because, like, what are you saying? Is it out of style to talk about? Like, do people not get married anymore? Like, what are you fucking insane? It was
Like,
just weird.
I get
It's
it
a
when
weird
everyone's
comment.
when there's all these new comics coming out and they're talking about. I mean, they're all talking about relationships usually too. Though.
Bill Burr talks about marriage now because he's married to whatever her name now.
Nia.
Yeah.
Nia. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's like it kind of goes back to the Beatles thing where it's shitty to trend on the people who were once on top.
Yeah.
And I think deep down, they're still on top.
Yeah.
That's why you got to feel like you got to tackle them.
Yep.
You know?
He was never funny. They just say that because they know he has like the best sitcom there ever was.
Yeah.
And he's one of the funniest fucking
If you,
comedians there ever was.
think, if you don't like Jerry Seinfeld's stand-up comedy, okay, I disagree with you, but you got to admit, man, Seinfeld, the TV show, holy shit, some of the funniest stuff ever.
And the thing about everyone can kind of shrug off the she carried herself very maturely thing about the girlfriend, but I remember when Max, I think it was his graduation party. Max had his high school graduation party. Woo! And I was there, and I was a sophomore in high school at the time. Mm-hmm. And like 3 people I spoke to that were Max's friends didn't really know me that well. They knew I was his brother. And they said, hey, are you in school? What do you do? And I said, yeah, I'm a sophomore. And all 3 of them were like in college.
Yeah.
They thought I was like fucking 19 or 20 when I was like 15 or 16. So like, yeah, some people look older than they do. Some people look younger than they do. It's very, it's like, it's easy to be like, oh, we should have known better. But especially in that time, it's easier to sort of just assume and then go with it. And she turned 18 when they actually got physical and got in a relationship. So he did nothing wrong.
My thing is, if Jerry was like covert about it or something, it would seem shady. I'd be like, oh, he's hiding it. But the fact that Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Jason Alexander and everyone knew her and met her and like she was around and her parents were on board with it, that's a whole different story. That's not him flying her out to Epstein's Island and doing gross stuff with a kid. Like it's like she was a consenting adult at 18, and it's like he was very transparent about it. So it's like that's a whole different story than like an Epstein thing,
Well, one of the funniest things that just occurred to me the other day is I was thinking about how like women are so against how men they like to equate like the fact that we prefer women who shave and stuff with like them looking like kids, which is first of all that's completely fucked up to me. But
you just don't like hairy hippie armpits.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And they think like it's nasty that we like younger women. It's like I don't know. They get like pedophile vibes from us just because of it. But what what I've seen in like the gaming community is that women think there's the whole thing with like twinks now, or like sort of like feminine boys or whatever. You heard that term? Twink? Yeah, it's a thing. So girls.
I've heard. I didn't know that's what it was.
Yeah. So girls think Link from Zelda is like really, really hot.
Isn't it a girl?
Because he's a dude, right? He's just very feminine.
Oh, okay.
And
I
Link,
thought Zelda was a chick.
Zelda's the chick.
Oh, okay.
Link is the dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
And Link
What do I know?
was I don't want to say based off of. I'm going to say he's a direct rip of Peter Pan. Literally a boy.
Yeah.
Everything about him is Peter Pan.
Yeah.
So like women are literally falling in love with this person who is based on this like magical boy, and they're like shitting on men for wanting women to shave their armpits, and the fact that we like them a little bit younger or whatever.
And it's very easy to see. It's like personal story. When I was 19, I dated for a while a girl or a woman who was 31.
Yeah,
but she looked like she was like mid-20s.
Yeah,
she was very attractive. And when we first went out, like the first time or two, she assumed I was like early to mid-20s.
Right.
And I was like, I'm a teenager. Anyway, but things were still cool. It's like and we had a good time.
Yeah, I had a similar relationship actually.
And she was very sexy and very fun and very nice and like very intelligent. And you're attracted to who you're attracted to.
Yeah, Yeah, no, I know it's I don't know. It's the same thing we've always said. People need someone to demonize to feel better about themselves. And whenever you see someone going at someone like that, it's because they have like a hollow life and really nothing to give other than to try to yap at people and bring them down.
And my thing is, it's like especially because Jerry was at the top of his game there. They're like, oh, take him down.
Yeah.
But it's so trendy to go back and villainize people decades later. That's like the trendy thing to do now. And they've been doing that they've been doing that shit for years. Where it's like they were all terrible people. John Wayne, a racist. Jerry Seinfeld, a creep. And it's just like, fuck you. Fuck you, guys.
Oh man.
Seinfeld's moving at 9 o'clock on Wednesday. That's really it. That's the whole thing. I gotta wear makeup for this. I'm a big Hollywood star.
Loop to loop without hurting my knees. And now it's time for Zamperini. I really wanna have a Hershey's, please. Now I'm talking
Wednesday, Kramer says goodbye to Seinfeld.
You're not really gonna go to California, are you?
Up here, I'm already gone.
Is Kramer really leaving?
Thought he got a bad rap.
Bad rap?
Yeah, so he packed the grip and he split for the coast.
It's a full hour of Seinfeld with a special mystery guest you won't believe. The Seinfeld season finale, NBC Wednesday.
Okay, so we're just gonna go through the news now, like we always do.
Throw me some curveballs.
Let's see.
This is a good stogie. I got the Drew Estate Java. For my cigar fans out
Good
there.
man. I get the acid. Always go with that one.
What flavor did you get? It was the
It's the blue one.
blue one.
I got the flavor blue.
Blue's
It
the only
tastes
way to
blue.
go. Tastes like ocean water from Sonic.
Oh man. Oh yeah, the whole Cuomo thing. Female aide said Cuomo aggressively groped her at executive mansion. That's kind of funny because the news wanted to like paint him as a hero, and now immediately he's like getting fucked. I 100% believe it with this guy. Actually, yeah.
What I find so funny is how rock stars can like fuck bitches and like do their thing and like have women come at him and it's celebrated.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
Steven Tyler banging girls. I'm like, all right.
Right, yeah.
But it's like if a politician does it, they're supposed to be prim and proper and everything, and suddenly they're like, deplatformed.
Oh man.
It's just so funny how certain career paths you have to behave a certain way.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like, they're all red-blooded men.
Yeah, and
Some are more strange than others.
I never liked him. I saw it coming a mile away with that guy.
I don't know much about him, but
yeah.
he sounds weird.
Okay, this is interesting. This is an article from The Atlantic. America without God. As religious faith has declined, ideological intensity has risen. Will the quest for secular redemption through politics doom the American idea?
I always thought, even back in the day, the founding fathers, church and state should be separate.
Yeah.
So it's like, at the end of the day, I think you should have the ability to believe what you want to believe, religious freedom, but I don't think it should totally, fully interfere with politics in any way.
Yeah.
I think it's okay to say in God we trust and things like that. Like, that's fine. But at the end of the day, it shouldn't have much more bearing than that.
Yeah, I agree. From 1937 to 1998, church membership remained relatively constant, hovering at about 70%.
Yeah.
Then, over the past 2 decades, that number dropped to less than 50%, the sharpest record decline in American history. Meanwhile, the nones, atheists, so forth, have grown rapidly and today present a quarter of the only a quarter. I honestly thought it would be more than that.
I would have thought like 75%.
Yeah.
Well, I do know a lot of like pretty intense. They're nice people, but people that are like very, very religious still.
Yeah.
And I'm not. It's like I'm open to the idea of God and in spirituality and everything. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm not into church or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I do know a lot of people that are very intensely religious. So I don't know. I don't know about the numbers, though, the statistics.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Believe what you want to believe.
If secularists hoped that declining religiosity would make for more rational politics.
Is that a real word? Religiosity?
I don't know.
Never
I guess
heard
so.
of that.
Yeah,
Never
maybe.
heard of that.
More rational politics, drained of faiths and flaming passions, they are likely disappointed. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's any big surprise.
Not a big shocker.
Yeah.
I think it's been that way since probably, I'm going to say the 1920s.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's kind of old news here.
Yeah.
And that was even on their minds back with the founding fathers, like separation of church and state. Like, I think a big part of that was upholding the religious freedoms.
Yeah.
So it's like the government can't force you to like be Catholic or be Muslim or whatever, fill in the blank.
Right.
It's kind of like, go ahead, have your religious freedom, which is good. The government shouldn't tell you what church to go to.
In countries like I agree with that. In countries like Egypt and Tunisia, debates weren't about health care or taxes. They were with sometimes frightening intensity about foundational questions. I think this is good. Yeah. What does it mean to be a nation? What is the purpose of the state?
Well, the Middle East, obviously.
Yeah,
They've been divided
and
fighting over religion since the dawn of time.
What is the role of religion?
And that's never going to change.
Yeah.
That's never going to change. The Middle East is always going to be, at odds about religion.
Yeah. I think we didn't realize how lucky we were, this guy says. Since the end of the Obama era, debates over what it means to be American have become suffused with a fervor that would be unimaginable in debates over, say, Belgianness or the meaning of Sweden. It's rare to hear someone accused of being un-Sweden or un-British, but un-American is a common slur slung by both left and right against each other. That's true. Being called un-American is like being called un-Christian or un-Islamic. A charge akin to... Well, I don't know if it's thrown from both sides, because I know the left, almost wants to distance themselves from America, for the most part. That's what I hear.
They want
obviously Biden has to be like, we want to be Americans.
Yeah.
But
they have that vibe of like, oh, I'm not for the old establishment, and I want to pull away from America, and they want to be like these rogue European communists.
Right.
Or they want to give that appearance, but at the end of the day, they secretly love capitalism. Even though they act like they hate it, like they're like, oh, I got to buy a new iPhone, and I got to buy it. Like they're so hypocritical in that respect.
Yeah. Just seeing like the platforms they're on and the things they use and everything they do.
Yeah,
you can tell they're definitely a product of capitalism, and
it's funny because so many people are like they just shit on capitalism, and it's just like at
easy
the end
to do when you're doing well within it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah,
and it's like that's a whole different conversation. About how socialism and everything works. I get it, but at the end of the day, a lot of these people who are saying that kind of stuff are being very hypocritical. Yeah, especially with their shopping habits.
So I don't really care either way about the decline of religion. I've met some of my buddies who are some of the nicest, most intelligent people I know are religious.
Yeah,
and that's cool. But I've of course also met people who are religious and who are total assholes. So I think it's like anything else,
Just depends. Yeah, believe what you want to believe. Don't force it on other people if you don't have to. And because I think that's where the problem comes. Some people get a little too pushy with their religion. It's fine to invite someone to church or whatever. That's cool, and if they don't want to, fine. But if you're forcing it on people, that's when people are like, "Hey, get away from me."
Yeah. I think we've talked about before. I tried to go to, Sunday mass with my buddy who's very religious for a year, just to I don't know, because I was interested.
Test the holy waters.
We used to go to every Christmas Eve and every Easter we go to mass. Just those 2 times a year as family, and I think we have the same take. It's just kind of boring. I never really.
At the end of the day, you gotta kind of feel in your heart what you want to believe. Yeah. And no one can really tell you that. That's a decision you have to make for yourself.
Yeah.
And if you want to, align with God or a specific religion, that's at the end of the day, that's your choice. It's up to you, and shop around, But it's something you'll feel. You'll feel what feels right for you. And I think a lot of these religions just. A lot of them, I hate to say it, but a lot of them seem like they're for profit.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And I don't mean Prophet Muhammad. I mean financial profit, But, I don't know, man. Religion's a touchy thing. You just got to feel it for yourself.
Yeah. The irony about religion is that it's supposed to be beyond people.
Yeah.
But people use it to their benefit all the time. Yeah. So it's
all those
you got to be careful.
What are they televangelists that are making Joel Osteen making $100 million Sure, I'm sure he believes in God, but at the end of the day, it's when does your religion become just a means of making money?
Yeah, I don't consider Joel Osteen actual religion. It's just it's too far.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
But it's again, a lot of the best people I know are very religious. Even a lot of the nicest people I've ever met have been Mormons. And I know that religion gets shat on a lot just for being.
I've met a lot of nice. There's some fucking weird ones too, but I have met my grandparents had some amazing neighbors, the nicest freaking people in the world.
Yeah.
The Cliffords, and they were they had a really nice big red dog in their backyard.
So what they called? They were the Cliffords.
But no, they were those sweetest people, and if you needed anything, they were there, and they were so genuinely helpful.
Yeah.
For over a decade. They were the nicest freaking people.
That's great.
And I know it's a blanket statement, you can't put that over everyone, but those people in particular, in my experience, super nice Mormons.
Yeah. I think I told this little story, not even a story, just this instance before on a podcast, but one time when I was in high school, this guy drove me home, and it was the first time in my life where he waited for me to get in the door, and then he drove off.
Yeah.
He was Mormon, and that was just really touched me. I don't know why. No one does that anymore.
Yeah. So we have a link below for the Book of Mormon. You guys can download it now.
Yeah. And it's I drive. My mom has this wine night with her friend, and I drive her to and from that. And as a rule of thumb, I wait for her to get into the door now because she's getting older. And
you learned the lesson.
It's a good neighborhood, but I think about that moment. I'm like, I gotta be.
That's a good one.
So I wait for her to get in the door.
That's a very nice.
He was a Mormon guy, one of the nicest guys I've ever met.
That's great.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of good,
against him.
There are a lot of good people who can benefit from religion, and there's other people who, they go their own way and they navigate life on their own, and that's cool too.
Exactly.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. What else we got going?
The Meghan and Harry interview. I don't have anything to say about
watched
that.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. My thing is, it's like I said, I haven't even fucking watched it, dude. Like anything with Oprah, I feel like it's gonna be like a sob story.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad for them. Like
the big thing,
they're doing very well.
Yeah.
Like
the big thing that came from that is that Meghan said someone in the royal family was worried that the kid would be too dark or whatever.
Oh, that's shocking coming from British royalty. Right. That is staunch.
So that was like, and Oprah was like,
hundreds of
what?
years.
Oprah
Yeah.
was like the super played, like, I'm shocked.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like Meghan is barely.
She's so hot.
Yeah, she's hot, and
Yeah.
she's very like. I don't know. I think the kid's gonna be okay. Is what I'm trying to say. Especially with the what the hell's his name? Prince Diarrhea Face.
Yeah, Prince
Meghan
William?
and Harry. Prince Harry. Yeah. So between Meghan, who's already, she's not like.
It's like, who cares?
Yeah.
It's like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, I don't know.
And my thing is, it's like, they're like, we want to pull away from the spotlight. And they're like, hey, let's go on Oprah. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. I'm sure maybe because, you know, Harry and all them, they probably had very... Well, I mean, I know his mom died and everything was very sad. But probably, you know, had the best of the best in terms of their upbringing. Yeah. And, it's their choice to pull away from it. But
one thing that I do want to say is that... you know, Meghan was saying like she feels trapped and blah blah blah, which I could understand because you know being royalty probably fucking sucks actually to a high degree.
She was in Horrible Bosses briefly. There's a scene where a really hot FedEx girl comes in, and I think it's Meghan Markle. Anyway,
that might crack me up.
Yeah. Fun fact.
But anyway, so Meghan was talking about how she felt trapped, and then Harry was like, "I feel really trapped too." And Oprah was like, you as this privileged, literally a prince, you feel trapped, and everyone's like shitting on Harry for that. But I was like 110% like, yeah, dude.
Yeah, and I'd be also, Oprah, you're like the richest woman in the world. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, right. But being part of the royal family, so much of your life is already predetermined. Like, of course you're gonna feel trapped.
It's a weird thing.
Yeah, it like just because you have like money out the ass doesn't mean. You're like you can do whatever you want. You're free, but there's still. I'm sure it's very constricted lifestyle.
Yeah,
very constricted everything. I
always felt a little. I don't want to say bad for her, but kind of for Princess Diana. Yeah, because you look at her, like she was so beautiful, and she was so, and obviously her life was tragically cut short, and she seemed like really cool. Yeah, like it's like I remember hearing a story in Michael J. Fox's biography, one of the few biographies I've read, where he was saying. He got to do a screening of Back to the Future with her, and got to sit right next to her, and he was so nervous, and like you know, she spoke to him. Yeah. You can only speak when she speaks to you. Damn. And everything. And it seems like she was like a really cool like 80s and 90s chick that like just happened to be royalty. Yeah. And it was kind of like, all right, you're gonna be the queen. Like a lot of pressure.
Yeah. See, that rule alone. You can only speak when she speaks to you. Like,
it's weird.
Fucking suck.
It would mess you up. Yeah. And I guess his thing was he had to go pee really bad during the movie, but he was too scared to like get up and say, "Can I get past you and go to the bathroom?" So he just like held it, like hurting himself through the whole movie. But my thing is, she always seemed like she just wanted to go like play tennis and like go to parties and like be a young woman. Yeah. And it seemed like she was just hounded by the press and everything.
Guys, like I don't know. Everyone equates money with happiness these days, and. Like the evidence is there to the contrary. Actually, I listened to this on NPR as well, where they're saying like, yeah,
one source of news.
What was that?
I said the one source of news.
Yeah, my one source of news. NPR always. Yeah, they were saying it's like to an extent, success, like financial success, makes you happy, but then that like completely goes away after a point. Like if you keep getting it, and you're doing well, yeah, but there comes a point where you're just as unhappy or more unhappy than like you know me or Ben or whatever, and I totally see that. Like money does not. Just as many problems come with being wealthy as.
Different kind of problems.
You know what I mean? Yeah, different kind of problems. But yeah, it's like it's not all just you can do whatever the fuck you want. And you're going to give it all to charity because it's like I don't, people's concept of finances these days are so fucked.
I saw a YouTuber I really like. You probably know him, Alpha M, Aaron Marino. Yeah. He was talking about that, how when he started he was like broke and like really built an empire from the ground up. Like he's really impressive. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of you guys subscribe to him. He's super popular. Alpha M. And he was saying that where it was like he was struggling to get by. And then like I think in his late 30s he finally for the first time with YouTube and with his products that he created made $100,000. And he said that was like the most impressive year of his life where it was like he had fans, he had actual products that he was shipping out and selling and like a successful business. And he said that was when he could like breathe a sigh of relief and felt good. But he said from that point onward, when each year consecutively he made more money, he found he had more responsibilities, more stress.
Exactly.
And even though he was not, struggling to find a meal or give a roof over his head or anything like that, and he had the cars and the wife and everything was good, he found himself not as happy as he was when he was younger, making that certain amount.
Literally, exactly.
And it's like, there's a lot to be said about that, man. And look at any rock star that ends up overdosing or killing themselves, and you're like, well, they had it all. It's like, did they, though?
Yeah. Like, how fucking stupid and unnuanced do you think people are? Like, all I need is $1 million, and I'm like, all fun and games until I die? Like, no, it's not how it works. Like, of course that would be great, but it's not going to be the end-all, be-all.
I think if we got to that point... Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
But I think you want to keep creating, you want to keep striving. That's why you got people like McCartney or the Stones or anyone like that who have more money than anyone could possibly know what to do with, but they keep... back when people were touring, they were still touring 8 months out of the year and like making new albums. And it's like, because you can't stagnate. You know what I mean? And it's like, I think that's true with anyone.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you guys say like money buys happiness, you're factually incorrect. That's actually literally not true.
Use money. Use money as a tool.
Yeah. So if you feel bad for Meghan, you got to feel bad for Harry just as much. Like I would personally, for me, I would say even more so, because they have all those fucked up rules and these weird constraints around, and they've been in the limelight since they were born. Yeah, and that alone would fucking suck. Yeah, it really would.
And then you got to figure, like Oprah coming in and saying you're privileged. It's like, dude, his mom died when he was like 6.
Yeah.
Like, how did that affect him? Yeah, how privileged are you losing your mother? I think that's rough for anyone, no matter where you're at. And it's like, I don't know, coming at him that way, like, oh, you're so privileged. Like, it's kind of cold.
I feel like I live a much more leisurely life than he does.
Yeah. And he was also in the royal, whatever it is, the royal military, and was like a helicopter pilot and stuff. Like he like paid his dues.
Yeah. So be careful, guys. You can't just slap someone's fucking paycheck next to them and say like, oh, well, you shouldn't complain because you're making this much or whatever.
And at the end of the day, if you sat down and talked to him, it's like still a human being.
Yeah.
A very British human being.
Dow Jones futures stock market divided, cannot stand. Boeing breaks out, GME, Bitcoin in focus. I heard that GameStop went crazy again today. I'm not sure what happened with it.
Oh yeah, invest in Boeing. I heard. I don't know for sure. Like, I'm not a financial advisor, but I invested a little bit in Boeing, and I think that's one to keep an eye on.
Okay,
but I don't know.
Boeing. You got a good knack for this. I don't know, man.
I don't know. I could be wrong. Don't bet the farm. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, I've heard the things are going crazy right now. Yeah, it's crazy time, so it makes sense. It makes sense. You always got to keep your eye on it.
Yeah. Ooh, you know what we could do to wrap it up?
What's that?
We still got a few minutes here. I was thinking this day in history.
Roblox. Okay, sorry, I just saw that.
Oh no, go ahead.
The Roblox stock had a strong debut.
Yeah, it's strange. silly putty skyrocketing.
Anyway, just as in general, keep your eye on stocks right now, because things are changing all the time. Keep your eye on different cryptocurrencies. Yeah. Things are changing all the fucking time.
And check out like online the Motley Fool. Funny name, but a really great way to find stock tips and financial advice. The Motley Fool's pretty good, I think.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Oh shit! This day in history, the Fukushima nuclear disaster.
They were really fooked.
On March 11th, 2011, the largest earthquake ever recorded in Japan causes massive devastation.
Oh, shit.
And
that was a gnarly one.
Yeah, the ensuing tsunami decimates the Tohoku region of northeastern Honshu.
Oh my god.
On top of the already horrific destruction and loss of life, the natural disaster also gives rise to a nuclear disaster at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant. Nuclear plant. The disaster is considered the second worst nuclear disaster in history, forcing the relocation of over 100,000 people.
Probably next to Chernobyl. And that one, a lot of that nuclear waste went into the ocean.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that's one where it's like, I'm sure they were like, oh yeah, we got it under control.
Yeah.
How much of that shit sunk into the ocean and got into the poisoned fishes and gradually got into the tides and went deeper out, went to other countries. It's like, who knows, man? You might be snorkeling and find a fish with a third eye.
Yeah, doesn't radiation hang out forever?
Yeah.
That's why we can't go to Chernobyl and still to this day. So
although I have seen a lot of people sending drones into Chernobyl, and a lot of models going in for Instagram shoots, scantily clad in Chernobyl, with this burnt down merry-go-round behind them.
That's so fucked up.
I don't know, man. But
Chernobyl. What the fuck?
Yeah, look up Models in Chernobyl.
Weird. Oh god,
it's the name of our first album, Models in Chernobyl.
Anyway, yeah, I remember that when it happened. Very horrific thing.
Yeah. I do worry about that radiation lingering in the ocean, though.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
because that's going to go around the whole world.
Jesus, yeah.
What do you do, man? I don't know.
And like Chernobyl, the area remains evacuated as of 2021. The true toll may not be known for decades. Damn.
Ooh, that's scary stuff, man.
In 2018, the government announced that former plant worker who had served during the meltdown was the first death officially attributed to radiation from the disaster, which today is considered second only to Chernobyl in the ranking of infamous nuclear incidents.
Holy
Damn,
crap.
dude.
Wow. What else we got? Any good stuff?
Also on this... Oh, actually, this is bad stuff, but this is actually kind of funny, obviously more recent.
Okay.
Also on this day in 2020, last year, President Trump addresses the nation on COVID-19, announces the travel ban.
That was today?
Yeah.
Last year?
So we're like officially a year into this shit.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Do you remember the last outing you had pre-COVID that was like totally normal?
The last one I can think of was when I was with my girlfriend of the time. It was Valentine's Day, so it would have been February, whatever, and we went to see Sonic.
Nice.
Sonic movie, and then I think we got like In-N-Out Burger after it.
That's
yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That was in Tucson, right?
Yeah. It was great. Very, very normal, very fun. Yeah, I miss it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Mine
Going
was
to the movies.
Mine was for my mom's birthday.
It's great.
A week before this, less than a week before this hit the fan, and we went out to dinner with my uncle and my dad and had a great time, and then went to the horse racing track where you could bet on horses.
That's cool.
And it was like
really
such
cool.
a nice, wholesome, fun
Yeah.
day, and then literally the day before the travel ban, I remember we went and saw the Impractical Jokers movie with our buddy Alan and Jenny and Nate. And I remember that was the first time where they said, "Oh, the seats are spaced out," and I was like, "Oh, that's weird." And that was where like right before everything hit, and we went and saw that, and then it was the next day. It's
crazy.
like everything
Yeah, dude.
hit. Yeah,
Damn.
So,
Scary. We're
yeah.
officially a year into this shit, guys.
But hopefully we'll be on the way out.
Yeah, I
and
think we're beginning to be on the actual way out, so
Yeah.
we will see.
stay safe, stay healthy, guys. Anything else you'd like to add?
I think that's it. Yeah, stay safe, stay healthy. Always talk to us. Keep it real. Stay in touch. Love you all.
Yeah, like, subscribe, and most importantly, remain unfazed.
See you guys.
Bye.
This is a promo to tell you Seinfeld's moving to 9, not 9:30. Wednesday night, 9. Why don't they put me on the news if they want people to know? Soviet Union collapses. Seinfeld moves to 9.